What's going on, guys? So last week I worked on the ability to go to one of the shops and purchase either a structure or a different kind of animal. And before you could purchase an animal, you need to have a specific structure that the animal can go in. And before you could place a structure, which I didn't do yet until this week, there needs to be a certain property that the player can actually build on. So this is what I did this week. So I made this little area over here, which would be signify some kind of like property, let's say, and there'll be different properties within the game. If you guys have ever played Fable, I want to do something similar to that. So you run over to this little sign here, and this calls the dialogue manager, and based on the property value, it's going to show the buy for and then whatever the amount is, and then the name of the property, which I just put as like tiny cottage. I'll work on the names eventually, but I just want to make the systems work right now. And I also made a couple buttons here for yes or no. So no doesn't do anything yet, but yes. So you go over to the sign, you click yes, and spend 5,000 to buy that property. I need to make something that shows that it's the player owned, like maybe like a highlight or something like that. For now, I just made the system where you could purchase it. So now the player owns property. And now if I go to this guy here and I want to build a coop, let's say, or a barn, if I click on the barn, it gets instantiated in one of the structure zones. So there's 4 structure zones in this particular property, and then a spot for the house. Now a structure could be a garden, it could be a greenhouse, it could be any kind of building you could think of that the player might own. And for this video I just did barn and coop. So buy a coop, buy another barn, and buy another coop. So I bought 4 things, and then I can't buy anything else because there's no other structure zone available in the player property manager, which I'll show the scripts in a second. So once you have the buildings here, I made it so you can go to it and then you could rotate it if you're within range. So I want to rotate it this way. Maybe I want to rotate this one. So I'm just using the down arrow for now, and I want a UI to pop up to show what buttons you could press. But I just wanted to make the methods work right now. And the collider triggers when the player is nearby. And let's face this one here. Alright, so we got a few buildings there. Now, at this point, I can go to the animal guy and we could buy 8 chickens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you can't buy any more because you only get 4 per building. And then we'll buy 8 cows. Okay. Now if I run over here, now that all those animals get instantiated at the particular buildings. So this will be the home structure for each of the animals. So you have the chickens running around and the cows and everything else. So for the past few weeks, I went from buying certain animals to buying structures to put in the animals, or put the animals in the structure, and then I had to make property that the player could buy, which has structure zones, which could allow the player to build upon. And eventually I'll make it so you could choose which area, which property, and which structure zone you'd like to build in. I got to make UI to show what you could rotate and when you can sell. Oh, actually I did sell too. So if you walk over to one of the buildings, you can actually sell them. And I also have to make it so if you're going to sell a building, it won't let you until you have removed the specific animals, either sold them or moved them to a different animal structure. But for now I just made the sell method so player goes nearby and they can sell the structures, and then you get about half the value back. Sleep still works, that's good. And that's it. So this week I just focused on that, making the property that you can build upon, and I accomplished that finally. So for next week, I'm going to take a little detour and I'm going to start working on certain, aside from the farm class, I'm going to start working on an area for like the ranger class with bows and targets. So I'll probably work on that area, make some targets in Blender, and eventually I want to make it like a training ground, kind of, for new players who want to learn archery. They can go there, learn the basics, maybe complete some quests like shoot an arrow at a target or a specific spot, and then eventually this will tie into the like there's certain festivals in Harvest Moon, and I want to have something similar to that in this game, where maybe there'll be like an archery tournament where you'll go up against other people of varying skills. And one of the things that I want to do, and actually it'll be easy to implement, your attributes will affect your archery. So your agility will increase your speed, which will also increase your ability to shoot more arrows per second, or per every few seconds or something like that. I have to figure out how that's going to work. But I know the stats will be involved, and then the strength will increase the amount of damage that the bow actually can do. This will also increase your critical hit damage. Luck will increase your chance to hit a critical hit, and that's for any attacks. And then that's it. And also your equipment, if that adds to the stats, that will work as well. I just got to figure out how to do the bows and how that combat will work. But for now, I just want to, next week I'll work on the actual area with the targets and everything and see how that looks. Probably Google some images to give me some references to what it would look like. But I want to see probably some like maybe targets lined up, and maybe some archery guys nearby, or you could buy some bows or arrows from, or I don't know, just thoughts right now. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions or comments below. Let's see if I can chop this tree down. So I always like to check things to see if they still work after I work on 1,000 other things. Okay, so the tree falls down into logs. Axe proficiency still works. I can still pick up the logs. That's good. And they go into the inventory. And that's it. Let's see if I could drop these. I didn't assign the wood yet, so they'll just come up as cubes. Pick them back up, and wow, I've actually done a lot that I didn't even realize. Okay, well that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions or comments below.